How you doing today, guys? Welcome back to another day of 7th grade math. This is Mr. Gomez. I'm your favorite teacher in the whole world. And today, we're going to keep talking about writing two-step inequalities. On the previous video, we did something very similar. We did this page right here. And on the video before that one, we did the mini lesson right here. So today, we're going to be actually doing the assignment that my class was supposed to do in class. A lot of them did it, but some of them did not. So those students get to do corrections and make a 70. A free 70 is better than a 0, right? Before we do that, please go ahead and consider subscribing and turn the notification bell on if you haven't done so. If you want to support the channel, link in the description. If you haven't seen my other channel, MTV Alex, I encourage you to go ahead and check it out and subscribe as well. Other than that, let's get right into it. So for this one, I'm going to go a little bit fast because we already have the other two videos explaining the whole process on this thing. So we can move a little bit faster. So we have 7 questions. Number 7 is broken into 3 sections, A, B, and C. And the first 3 questions, we have words that we're going to convert into inequalities. 4, 5, and 6, we have inequalities that we have to convert into words. So, with that said, let's go ahead and start with number 1. Number 1, it says 10 times a number increased by 4 is no more than 25. 10 times a number increased by 4 is no more than 25. So you can just start literally writing this down using the vocabulary words that you have, that you know. So for example, what I like to do first is identify my inequality sign and the number that goes after that. So I have 10 times a number increased by 4 is no more than 25. That's going to be my inequality sign. We have already talked about which inequality signs goes with each word. So in this case, it says no more than 25. So I'm going to be using that inequality sign. And I'm going to bring my number down. And then I have to find what's happening, my multiplication or division, then my addition and subtraction. So for this one, I have 10 times a number right there. 10 times a number is literally 10 times a number, just 10x, right? And then increase by 4, that's the other part. Increase means to add. To add. We're increasing, it's going up. So we're going to add 4. And there you have it. All you got to do now is write this down. 10 times a number increase by 4 is less than or equal to 25. And you're done with that. You don't have to solve it. Number 2. Number 2 says 30 subtracted from 4 times a number is greater than the opposite of 10. 30 subtracted from 4 times a number is greater than the opposite of 10. Now, whenever we have subtractions, you're going to be paying attention very closely to see what you're going to put in first. Because if you put them in the wrong order, you're going to get them wrong. But again, the first thing that I like to do is identify my sign. Now, in the previous video, the first one that we did, at the very last page, we did 4 steps. You can also follow those. They work great because there's the 4 steps. Identify the 4 steps. But for this one, I'm going to find my inequality sign and the number that goes after that. So my inequality sign is greater than the opposite of 10. And I'm just going to write that down. Greater than, and the opposite of 10 is just negative 10. Boom. Done. I'm done with that part. Now, the second part, I'm going to find this thing right here. It says 30 subtracted from. That's one part. And the other part is going to be right here. 4 times a number. So I have my 3 sections. I already did the yellow one. So the pink one and the baby blue one are going to be the left side from the inequality sign. Now, since I see the word subtracted, I know that I'm going to be subtracting something. It's a minus, right? Minus sign. The question is how you're going to write it, because a common mistake is Let me do the right way, and then I'm gonna show you the common mistake that a lot of you did. A lot of you did. So, pause for a second if you're watching this video and write this down. And then tell me if you got it wrong or right. Write down on the comments. Number 2, I got it wrong. This is what I put. I got it right. I got it just like you. Okay. So, again, since I said subtracted from, that means that I'm going to be taking something away from something. Whatever you take away is going to go in the middle, just to make it easier. Okay? Whatever you are taking away is going to go in the middle, or the second thing that you're going to write down. So in this case, it says that you're taking away 30 from 4 times a number. 4 times a number is just 4x, and then you're taking away 30. Okay? Now, the way you write this is 2 ways that you can write this. The most logical way is have like this. You take away 30 from 4 times a number. That's the most logical way. The other way that you can write it, if you look at what I wrote on the top of the line, you can write it like so as well. So you can also do minus 30. And then you have the 4x. We already identified this part right here, greater than the opposite of 10. Greater than the opposite of 10. Now, is there a sign over here? Is there a sign in there? No. If there's no sign, is it positive or negative? It's positive. That's the other way to write it. So if you label it on the top of each section, just realize that if you don't have a sign in front of it associated with it, it's a positive. So either of those 2 ways are correct. You want to see which one is the common mistake? The common mistake was this right here. By the way, this is 4x, not 40. This was the common mistake right there. What's different between this and this? The signs, right? This one, the 30 right here, this is positive and this is negative. Not what we want, because what you're taking away is the 30 right there. So the 30 is negative and the 4x is positive. Any questions about that one? All right, so anytime you have a subtraction, make sure that you know what you're taking away from. Or if you label in the top, bring it down as is. And if there's no sign associated with it, automatically it's positive. So you do plus. Number 3. Before we do number 3, let me go ahead and do number 6. You know what? Let's skip number 3 for now. Let's do 4, 5, 6, and then come back to 3. For number 4, 5, and 6, we're going to write the description for each inequality. Literally, just put in the words to mounts, okay? We're just going to put in the words for the numbers or whatever we see. What do we see right here? I see the opposite of 5 and a number. Does anybody agree with that? Disagree with that? That's what I see right there. The opposite of 5 and a number, right? And then if I look at my inequality sign right there, what does that say? Plus. You can use the word plus. You can do increase by, incremented, added 5, or added whatever. So I'm just going to use the word increase by. By what? Increase by what? 1. No. By 3. And then I'm looking for the inequality sign and what's after that. That inequality sign is super easy. How do you read that inequality sign? Is very good. And what was the number? That's it. Super easy, right? The opposite of 5 in a number, that's my first part. Increase by 3, that's the middle, is greater than 1. That's the end. That easy. That's exactly how you write them. Now, number 5 is going to be very similar to the one that we did on number 2 because we have a subtraction. But let's just go ahead and read it out. It says 27. It's positive, right? So we just write 27. You can spell out the words if you want. And this, what's happened? Less, right? Or minus. Because in this case, you're actually taking away the 2 times a number, right? Less 2 times a number. 27 less 2 times a number, or minus 2 times a number. Then if I look at my inequality sign, what do I have? It cannot exceed what? How do you write this? The opposite of 6, right? And that's it. You can also say 2 times a number subtracted from 27 is less than or equal to the opposite of 6. That's another way to write it. You can also say 2 times a number subtracted from 27 is less than or equal to the opposite of 6. Either way is fine. You might have different one, but as long as those word matches the equation, the inequality right there, you're good. Any questions so far? Now, number 6 is something that we haven't seen before, kind of. So we're gonna take this in a little different approach, kind of. So what's different on this type of inequality from the other ones? We have a what? We have a fraction. What else do we have? Very good. We have a fraction. What else do we have? We haven't seen what's next. What's next? Yes. We're multiplying, yes, because we have a what? What is it? Say it. A parenthesis. And so we have something going on inside the parenthesis, right? So we have a parenthesis with something going inside it. And then you have your inequality sign. So far so good, right? We broke it into 3 things. I have my fraction, I have a parenthesis with something going on inside it, and then I have my inequality sign with the number. So far so good? We still broke it. So what's happening over here? I have half of, this is a keyword. What do I have half of? What is it? So how do you say C? You don't say C, right? You say A. Do we know what C is? No. So what do you say? Is the variable, right? So what do you say? If you don't know what C is, a number, right? A number, and then what's happening to that number? Is what? Is adding to 1. So you can say half of a number increased by 1. I'm done with the parentheses, right? Half of, that's the yellow section. A number increased by 1, that's the parentheses. This of is gonna tell me that I have a parenthesis. And then the baby blue section, what do I have in there? It's at least 5, right? You can say it's at least 5. There you go. That's it. So to identify a parenthesis, you gotta look for the word of. Okay? So with this one being done, let's go back to number 3. And we're gonna use that sentence to write an inequality. Okay? So we have 1/4 of the opposite of. 1/4 of the opposite of. 1/4 of the opposite, right? How do you write 1/4? 1/4, and it says the opposite, negative, right? So negative 1/4. And then we start with our of the difference of 5 and a number. The keyword right there for the inequality, of. I know there's 2 offs, but you gotta be paying attention for which one, right? Because the description for the first off, it says of the opposite. That just belongs to the fraction. That's something that you just gotta be able to recognize. But it says of the difference of 5 and a number. The difference, what is that? Adding or subtracting? If you find it the difference, how do you find it? Do you add or subtract? What is it? Subtract. And we're gonna subtract what? 5 and a number. 5 and a number. So we're going to put in the parentheses. 5 minus a number. Any letter you want to use, it doesn't matter. I'm done with that pink part. Now let's look at the yellow. It's less than 20. How do you write less than? It goes to the left. 20. That's it. That easy. Any questions on that one? All right. So at this time, if you haven't, please subscribe and let's keep on rolling. We got the last question. We have a word problem. And it's broken down into 3 sections. So basically these 3 sections are going to be like the 2 videos ago where I talked about the steps, step 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's kind of like that. So number 7. It says, the school photography club charges $10 for each photo in its annual pet photo contest. The club wants to save $75 of its earnings for a pizza party. They want to save $75. The club members also wants to have at least $50 left over after the pizza party to pay for other club's expenses. Write an expression for. And we're going to break it down. So it says, A, how much money the club earns by taking P pet photos. So P is going to be the variable, and that's going to be the cost for each photo. How much is each photo? $10 right here. So we're going to do 10 what? 10p. That's it. That's the answer for A. The price per photo, $10 per photo, right? 10x, 10p, 10w, whatever. B. The difference between the amount the club earns and the amount for the pizza party. What is the keyword right here? What does difference mean? Subtract, right? So it says the difference between the amount the club earns and the amount for the pizza party. How much is the pizza party? Yes. They want to save $75. How much does the club earn? $10 per photo, right? That's that part. And on the step 3, we're just going to put in that and the inequality sign and the other number. So over here, we have already used 10. We already used 75. Which number haven't we used? And we're going to use that inequality sign right there, at least. Right? So we're going to go down here. Now write the two-step inequality, finding the small number of photos that they need to be made to pay for the club's piece of body and have at least $50 left over after to pay the expenses, right? So I know they're going to make $10 per photo. I know they're going to use, whatever they make, they're going to use $75 to buy pizza, right? And they want to have at least, can they have more than 50? It goes 50 right here. Can I have more than 50?
No.
They want at least 50. Can they have $51 left?
No.
Why not? At least. So if I ask you, if you're wearing a wallet and I ask you how much you have, you're going to say, well, you don't remember exactly, but you're going to say at least $10. Can you have more than $10? Because you don't remember, but you know it's going to be at least $10. So it's 50. Can it be more than 50?
Yes.
Yes. Can it be 50?
Yes.
Yes. So are you including the 50?
Yes.
That's it. That's how you do this one. Now, if you want to solve it, then you can just add 75 to both sides and then divide by 10. And that's it. All right. So I really hope that you learned something today. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't, please go ahead and subscribe, turn the notification bell on. If you want to support the channel, link down in the description. Check out my other channel, MTV Alex, on that. That is it for this one. And I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.